Well, I think that appreciation should go to Steph for allowing God to use her mind to create this platform. It's a privilege for me to be here, and I acknowledge my friends are in the room. Everyone here is my friend, but I've seen a lot of very close friends here. I love this theme: Unveil, Review, Redefine, and Relaunch. There is a story of a young man. He was born to a security man, and I'm talking of security guard, not security agency officer or official. So when people talk about impossibility, and I remember the story of the young man, I tell them impossibility is in the mind, and possibility is also in the mind. Until you can unveil your real person, you continue to seek validation, which means you will lack confidence. And when you don't have confidence, you cannot lead yourself, talk less, lead others. So there is this young man, about 50 years ago, born to a security guard, born to a petty trader of a mother who did not go to any school, born in a slum. So you definitely write the story of the man. I mean, from then, for 50 years, what kind of projection can you make? The most educated in the community where he was born was a grade 2 teacher and a forestry officer. Lived in a place where everybody slept on a mat, not even a bed or mattress. Was introduced to toothpaste only when he got to secondary school. That's the man standing before you today. I remember the days we would go without food, and my parents would say, so what do we do today? We were planning feeding daily. So my mom was, okay, fine. Let me go to this, my friend, she may lend me some money and so on and so forth. And there will be days, I remember the Buhari first coming in 1983, when he suddenly changed the color of Naira notes. And there'll be nothing in the house. The four of us would put palm oil on Gary, stir it together, and eat and drink water on it. I farmed until my 3rd year in engineering school in the university. And I'm talking of farming where you will harvest the corn and bring it by the roadside and sell. Well, you are not here to listen to my story. But I thought, what can I share with you in 15 minutes? I think what I can share with you is, life is short. And the power to define your life is in your mind. My life was not defined by where I was born. I didn't see that as my life. Right from my primary 5, I made a small bookshelf from wood, part of the wood that we used to cook, because we were cooking with, they would put 3 big stones, and then you put the wood, and then the pot would be on it. So I found a flat wood amongst those woods, one day. And I removed it, and my mom was, no, don't take my wood that I need for my cooking. I said, no, I need it for something else. And I made a bookshelf out of it. And I nailed it to the wall of the room where they said, okay, you boys, you can stay here. The window is like this size. For those who are Yorubas, we call it don't buy matches. That's the name of the window. Education, thank you. Education includes knowing what is going on around you. I had to take my children there. And they're like, Dad, you're joking. You couldn't have slept here. My dad would bring old newspapers and magazines from the office, from secretariat where he was working. And we'll roll them into cones and tie thread. I have a witness here. And go to those moi moi akara sellers, sell them for peanuts. But those peanuts were important to us. So one day I found center spread of one of those old magazines, a picture of a red Mercedes-Benz SUV. And I pulled it out. And I showed my siblings. I said, look, this is the car I will ride. They laughed. Have you ever even seen the car pass by our community? By the way, there is no road to our house, so if there is fire incident, fire brigade cannot come because it's only narrow footpaths that lead to the main road. Anyway, I nailed that to the wall and I started working on my mind. Thank God for my mom. The most important message from my late mom was always, you don't belong here. Don't copy them. So if I wanted to smoke hemp, I would have been smoking hemp from primary 3. Because my playmates in the community, I got, accidentally found some of them smoking. And their parents would never know because they've gone for their daily struggles. I could have smoked. They wanted to force me to smoke. And I remember what my mom said, you don't belong here. The way we made money quickly in those days, you go to the road, be a bus conductor, or when the buses come later in the evening, you go to the street to wash. Or for the distributors and dealers of alcoholic drinks around, when their trucks come, you help them to offload. And these guys will have money and they will flaunt it before you. But I was focused. So the first point I would like to leave with you is life is short. The story I'm telling you about is more than 50 years ago. 50 years ago. I was a witness. I was born 1968. So this May, I should be 52. And the story I'm telling you about was stories I became aware of when I was in primary 2, thereabouts. First thing is life is short. Before you know it, everything is gone. First thing, life is short. So I don't know where people get time for distraction. Whether I like it or not, by the time I'm 80, I won't be able to do so many things again. In fact, I will be a nuisance to some people. Grandpa, please stop disturbing us. So whatever I still have to do in the next 20 years, you are expiring small. And we were young boys in those days too. Abi? Life is short. That's the first message. Second message is, your life must have a clear purpose. That purpose may not be rigid and bounded by a stone fence or wall. But, for instance, the purpose I grew up to know was, you don't belong here. That purpose wasn't defined by me, it was defined by my mom. And I remember the joke she used to make, and that's what is happening now. After you look, she knows how to work very hard, and she knows how to enjoy and reward herself for what she's done. So my mom's greatest reward was a loaf of bread. On our way home, she would buy a loaf of bread, and all of us would gather. Mom, give me bread. Hey, don't disturb me, oh. Let me first of all satisfy myself. Then whatever is left, you guys can share. Am I supposed to work and kill myself for you? Because after you've enjoyed everything now, you don't allow me to enjoy anything, you'll not be telling your friends and your wife, my mom, she was so good, she was so kind. Let me reward myself while I'm alive. And my mom passed on at 53. I was only in year 2 in engineering school. One thing I learned from her is, having set a clear purpose for your life, you must know when to work hard and when to also reward yourself. I've seen a lot of people put their investments in their children. My children are my investment. So those are the people that become bad mother and father-in-laws. The purpose of their own life is separate from your own. They are not decorations for your lives. My wife will force our 2-year-old boy, wear bow tie. You must take picture with it. Say, is it your picture or his picture? It's not your picture, it's the boy's picture. And the boy is saying, I'm not comfortable with this punishment. Remove it. That is what we do oftentimes. Please, your life purpose is separate from other people's purpose. You should know where you belong. And you should know when to work very hard and when to reward yourself. Nobody will reward you if you can't reward yourself. The most powerful weapon you have that's given to you by, I believe in the God factor. Because there are people that did everything right and didn't come out of that neighborhood. They didn't come out of that community. I still have some of them very close to me. I support those I can. There is the God factor. And you know the most powerful weapon that God had given you, even if you don't believe in God, you have that weapon. Is your mind. Is your mind. My third message to you is pain, hunger, shame. They are nothing unless you make them something. I'm never ashamed of any, as long as you've defined yourself, you've defined your purpose in life. Believe me, those that do not understand your purpose will feel the pain for you more than you that's carrying the pain. They will feel the shame for you more than you that they think is facing the shame. The most important thing is those things, hunger, pain, shame, should not stop you from getting to your goal in life. Your focus must remain constant. If care is not taken, you will need people's validation for you to fulfill your daily dreams. Set yourself free. It's your life. It's short. You must have a clear purpose. Pain, hunger, shame are not strong enough to stop you from getting to your life goals unless you allow them. Seek no man's validation. You have all it takes to be successful. It's not about your degrees. How many degrees does our friend Aliko Dangote have? How many? I'm not talking honorary. The type that you have with your first class and second class upper and lower and so on. Okay, let me. Michael Jackson, how many degrees does he have? Or did he have? Thank you, ma'am. And back home here, Wizkid, how many degrees does he have? So it's not about your degree. There is something in you that the world will pay for. The most powerful weapon you have is your mind. How you cultivate your mind, how you drive your mind. Believe me, something as simple as somebody taking picture in a packaged way. See this young man here. In those days, we always feel that unless you have a special title, then you cannot fit into the society. Says who? Please perish that thought. I'm proud of my mom. She didn't go to any school like I told you, but all I knew about managing a business, the bulk of them I learned from her. My mom can keep records of all her debtors without writing on any piece of paper. And we'll encourage her, Mom, let's document this thing so that you won't forget. How can I forget now? Mama Shikira, she's owing me for 2 cartons of fish. This one, she's, okay, Mommy, let's write it down for you. My dad used to write it down for her. And my dad used to hold her a lot. So my dad would write for his own, right? From Liar's debt. In other words, what is owing my mom? So when we read it for her, from Liar's death, my mom will say, who wrote that? Your father. That's the money he's owing me now. How can you write it like that? Say, hey, mommy, just forget about him. Meaning is not about school. It's about your mind. School is good, don't get me wrong. School will help you accelerate the development of your mind. That's what school should do. It should broaden our thinking, exposure, and how we exercise our minds. But many go to school to earn certificates to get a job. I tell my children, see, I will support you in whatever you want to study. It could be Yoruba, Igbo language, Hausa, drama, anything. You don't have to study engineering. I studied engineering, I practice engineering a bit, but HR is my passion. Whatever you want to study, I will support you. But this is what you owe me. Before you come out of school, you must have identified at least 2 problems in the society that you can solve. There is a man called Dele Momodu. You know the problem he identified that he solved? Say it. Ego. You know, people with their big ego, he realized they have a problem and he could help them solve it. Did they not pay for it? Is the guy not a multi-millionaire today? He is. A man called Wasiu Ayinde, sorry for those of you that are not Yorubas. Wasiu Ayinde is a Yoruba musician. He came into the Fuji genre and he came talking instead of singing. And some of us were frustrated then. Look, I'm a Fuji music lover. Okay? I adore local culture, so I use it a lot to illustrate my points. Sikiru Ayinde Barrister was great, good musician, good with some instruments as well. But this man came who used to be a band boy just to watch, help them pack things and so on. He wasn't even a musician. And he came and he started talazo and he started talking. So instead of singing, he was talking. However, what people did not realize is this. The big difference between the 2 musicians, one was so creative he started the genre and is acknowledged to be the creator of that genre. However, he wasn't really solving such a big problem. So financially, he wasn't that rewarded. But this other gentleman, there wasn't such a perfect musician who was just talking. Instead of singing, he would say, oh, Mr. Wale has come, oh, is that song? Like I challenge my children, please, let's challenge ourselves and those around us. Our education is to solve problems. Our education is not to look for employment. Our education is to solve problems, it's not to look for employment. If it is about to subsist, God had provided that. You don't need to do anything other than throw the corn in the soil. In 3 to 4 months, you will harvest. Stick the cassava stem into the soil. In 7 to 9 months, you will harvest. I did it, so I know what I'm talking about. So, our education is what? To solve problems. If you cannot solve problems, you don't deserve to be wealthy. Wealth is a reward for those who solve problems. And it's not about the number of degrees we have. It's about how we exercise our mind. Review how far you've gone in chasing your life purpose. Redefine what it should be for the remaining years. Life is short. Very, very short. Please, don't join those who believe the problem is the government too. The government is not creating an enabling environment. Even in the government's failure, there is opportunity. No government can stop the power of your mind. Yes, a good government can make it easier for you. But government should never be an excuse. Redefine and relaunch. Today is another opportunity to start all over again. It's not too late. Life is short anyway. So make it happen. Congratulations. Thank you.